Hey, hey, hey. This is this thing called life. We are happy to have you with us. I have the beautiful Kiana
Peace and greetings.
and the beautiful Miss Roslyn.
Hello.
And we always have, you know, the big man in the house, Steve Lester. Yeah, yeah. Now, Key gonna have a fit about her yellow mic, right?
Oh my God.
So, while I'm sitting up there talking, see, you all getting the chance to see a little bit of what happens before we actually go live.
You know what?
Yeah, we're live on there, but I'm trying to find my phone now.
With the show.
Oh, I'm new to
Get
this.
into character.
And I'm looking for my phone.
Your phone.
Yeah, my other phone. Oh, it's in my pocket. Yeah, so.
Actually, is the yellow mic she likes or don't?
Yeah, she loves the yellow mic. The yellow mic is her baby.
I'm gonna do this. So y'all take the yellow mic. You're gonna have that one. And you're gonna put this one there.
And Kiana gets my favorite mic, the green one. Yes, yes,
You're not
yes.
as much of a stickler about the mic as your counterpart. She's just like, the yellow mic.
That's what y'all was my favorite color.
Okay, we just talking about Kiana. I mean, not Kiana, on the live feed.
Because it's life.
Yeah, you show right because it's this thing called life. Good evening, good evening, good evening. This is Dee from This Thing Called Life, and we are happy to have you with us on this evening on New Beat Radio. For those of you that are not aware, we are in our new location. Yeah.
It is
And
beautiful.
we are loving it already. We have joining us tonight two fabulous women from the True Black Girl Magic Indiana chapter, Miss Kiana,
Oh, thank you, peace and greetings, everyone.
and then we have Miss Roslyn Page.
Hello.
On the promo, you may have seen Miss Belinda Nelson. She is dealing with a few things, and we need everybody to send positive vibes and energy in her direction, so that she will hopefully be able to join us on the next time. My sister just made it, y'all. And so she's about to fall in, and then we're gonna go ahead and jump on in on today's topic, which is knowing when to say no. Now, how many of us have ever had problems with telling people no?
Every day.
Oh, really?
Still do.
Really?
Gonna admit my wrongs.
Can I?
Still do.
Which people though? Like, I think for me it depends on which people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, okay. Now, professionally, do you have that issue?
Nope.
Professionally,
Look, Miss Kiana's like,
Honestly, yes, I do. I'm not gonna. I do professionally
Okay.
because me wants to help everyone.
that's your heart. Yeah.
Yeah, that's me, and
Yeah.
it's not the.
I told somebody else that.
Yes.
I think I remember that show.
But we're not going to talk about. I know y'all hear the sound effects, but like I said, this is the sisterhood segment. So when the girls get together, it can go in any direction. It's a full prong right behind you, darling. I mean, not 4, 3. So professionally, Kiana says yes. What about you, Miss Roslyn?
No, I don't think I have a problem saying no professionally.
I need you to speak into
Oh,
the mic,
sorry.
darling. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't think I have a problem saying no professionally. I do have a servant heart.
Yes.
Part of my job as a coach is to help people. So there really isn't in my role an opportunity to really say no.
It's just more or less that tough love to help them, kind of mold them and
It may be how I say no, cause in professionally, it may be something that I can work on. But no, not really professionally. My problem with saying no is in my personal life.
I can relate.
Yeah, yeah, my personal life.
Yeah.
You can relate, sister.
Yeah, just as the song goes, just a little bit, just a little bit. No, you know, and on the real, it is when we look at it and we think about it and we take it for what it really is. You know, even as children, we grow up hearing no, 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 don't do that. No, no, no. So the word no is instantly ingrained in us as something negative.
Yeah,
We don't look at it from a positive perspective where, you know, it's a learning tool. Because a lot of times we'll just say no to the young child or whatever the case may be, and not say, okay, you don't need to do that because.
so I'm reading a book. Well, I read a book and it's helping me with parenting. It's called Parenting with Love and Logic.
Ooh.
And what you just described is in that book, and it's hypothetically, let's say your child wanted to eat ice cream. You don't want your child to eat ice cream because they haven't had dinner yet. So instead of just saying no, just twist it with positivity. Well, baby, you can have ice cream after you finish dinner. So it's not what you say, it's how you say it.
Right.
And this book is really helping me through parenting my 8-year-old little girl, my 8-year-old little me.
Yes.
Oh.
You know, that's the issue I have. That's the issue I have. She's not so many at this point.
No.
She's, I think, a little bit
She's
taller
a
than
big
me.
girl now.
Don't, whatever. Anyway.
No more mommy's little girl.
Keep playing, you gotta go home with me. Anyway, but she's in a lot of ways. I mean, she's truly her own person.
Yes.
But in a lot of ways, she is, as you said, your mini or parenting a younger version of yourself. And it's one of those, she gets to saying and doing stuff, and I'd be like, okay, that's exactly what I would have said. Probably the exact same way, the exact same inflection.
But I'm your mama, you my
I'm gonna
child.
need
Don't
you
you
to-
say that like that.
Man.
I'm gonna need you to, man.
Tone that down a little bit. Just take a little bit of
Pull it
a
back.
bite out.
Yeah.
See, with her,
It's
it's
that
like
venom,
that
it's that
bite when she, you know, because she says that and she means no harm in most cases. But she has, you know how you have some people that are just natural leaders,
Yeah.
and then you have those personalities that are natural followers. And she is more of a leader, like, you know, that power to the people revolutionary leader, like, you know, truly, that is her personality. She is that. I know sis was talking on a show a few months back about how, you know, the altercation she had in school was because she was protecting a couple of people who had been bullied.
Yeah.
So it's like that natural leader, like, we ain't even going. It ain't fun to have. That's just her personality.
Yeah.
That's her character. And so, you know, when you have people that have that more dominant personality, it intimidates a lot of people.
Because, and I will say that it's really interesting that you put it that way. She recently had a teacher last semester who she wasn't real sure exactly how to take it, but the teacher told her, because it was real similar to one of our paparazzi dealer, her daughter. Remember her daughter? Her teacher told her
She said to call her a consultant, not a dealer, even though we are addicted. She's our pusher. Papa pusher.
Technical term.
our consultant. But her daughter, you know, the teacher told her daughter that she was most likely to incite a riot.
What?
Yeah,
Okay.
and or to lead a riot, wasn't it? Lead a riot or a protest, and that's what the teacher told our dealer's oldest daughter.
Okay.
My daughter got wind of that,
Bless
and she
it.
was like, "Let me talk to her." I was like, "What you
Let
talk
me
to
at
her?"
her. Let me
I was
at
like,
her.
who you want to talk to? You want to talk to, the daughter? She was like, no, I need to talk to the teacher. I need to talk to the
A
teacher.
true leader.
And this, and she's taking college courses and stuff right now, and she is into wigs. And she has this beautiful, beautiful wig. It's really, really dark. It's got the green in it. It's a really deep, dark.
And
Yes.
she does makeup too, sis, right?
Yeah, she's a makeup artist.
Amazing makeup artist.
Yes.
And so she wore this beautiful green wig to school, and one of her teachers, one of her teachers said to her, I mean, he had an issue with her hair.
Okay, hold up. The green hair or her
Her
hair?
hair.
The green hair.
Okay.
Okay, okay. Okay, she's already rubbing my
Look,
head, so I
see?
know I'm not
Wait a minute, hold up.
right.
He
Yeah.
he had an issue with her hair, her green hair.
Okay.
And so he made his little comments. He said something to her about the way. I love my child.
Mm-hmm.
And so her statement was, why do you have such an issue with my hair? Do you want me to show you how to do yours?
I love my niece.
But she didn't say nothing negative
No.
at all.
She
No.
was disrespectful.
And then, come to find out, and I got an email last night. Because this same teacher, she has another teacher that's across the hall. So this same teacher decided he was going to make a comment to her. Well, to this other teacher about my daughter. Who had on a different wig yesterday. And so I don't know exactly what he called himself trying to say, but the teacher was just like, I'm getting ready to ask this young lady if she wants to test out a trig.
He wanted to get rid of.
And you want to say something about her hair?
Okay.
We got Smurfs running around here. You want to say something about her hair? So then the teacher don't want her to test out a trig, emailed me to tell me what had happened, because my daughter did.
Wow.
She handled it. She handled her portion. And Friday morning, her mom was going to go handle the rest of it.
So a mini you, a true mini you.
A true mini-me.
Now my question becomes: her dad doesn't know this.
No,
Okay.
no.
Let's make sure we block him
No,
from
he can't watch the feed.
this.
See, my back to the
I
feet.
He can't.
I was about to say,
Look at him
Make sure
like,
he doesn't get wind of that, because he'll show up and be like,
Excuse me?
yeah, right. Now, what was this that you had to say? And he's a man of few words, but when it comes down to,
those are.
yeah.
He don't play about that one.
Scary.
Yeah,
My
so-
daughter, she's like that. Like, she's 4. Justice is 4. And she's the opposite of me. Because I'm the one who's the more, of course, I'm mild and conservative. And
Until she's got a mic in front of it.
Boy,
Then it's like,
That's scary to stare down, right.
other than that,
I love how she's
Because it's gonna move you, yeah.
yeah, like that's like a spiritual movement. But like she's such like a strong person already. Like she's a leader already. And she started kindergarten, preschool this year, right?
Okay.
And her cousin's in her class. Now she's mom, like she's like mother hen.
Okay.
Mother hen. And my thing with her is because she's such the opposite of me. It's like how to try to mold it. And I know you're a leader. I want you to be the right type of leader. And that's hard to do because it's like, of course, I was raised with nothing but boys. So let's jump off the porch right there. That when I had
That
a
was
daughter,
me. That was me all day, every day.
Man.
That was me. Look, I have a scar forever from running dead into, back in the day we had the big booty air conditioners.
Mhm. You ran into one
Straight in
back
the
there.
corner. BAM! Just,
Somebody took a picture, was it a picture?
Wow.
Six with you, right? With you.
mine right
Climbing
there.
up stuff,
Yeah, trees,
falling
jump,
up stuff.
getting on the building and jumping off. Yeah, all that.
Yeah.
Playing kickball, soccer, football, soccer, dodgeball.
Everything. Just
Yeah,
to prove
got
that
mad
we
at
do.
mama when she told the fellas that they couldn't tackle me anymore. Cause my little body was trying to go through some changes and I got forked of the house with my mother. Daddy said football ain't football if you ain't touching something. Oh, we went up for you rounds, but I know this has nothing to do with telling people no.
No,
But we did tell y'all that y'all don't know where it
it's
might go. It goes-
Yeah, so right. That
They even
disclaimer
talk about how to
was
tell
put out
people,
there.
no, but this is life. This
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, so it's just one of those things where mom had to tell me no, and when I tell you, I was truly upset because my grandparents, mother had bought me this beautiful doll for Christmas one year, and I'm like, what am I supposed to do with it? And my mother almost popped me dead in my mouth cause I was like, what am I supposed to do with this? Because I was not a
Well, you said that
doll
in
girl.
front of them.
I said,
Yes.
because all the, cause all the
Not a picture to
family,
them.
it was like, what am I supposed to? Because I was never a doll girl. I had like Hulk Hogan, Incredible Hulk stuffed animals and Alf and stuff like that. I gave Alf a mohawk because he had the hair that used to stick up. So I, gave him that buzz cut look. It was my age showing. Oh, I
Yeah,
said
you did say
Alf.
Alf. Look, I wasn't gonna say nothing about
My
it.
age is showing.
I wasn't gonna say
I don't know what
nothing
y'all
about
talking
it.
about.
I just, you see, I just let you roll. I just let you roll.
You all don't know anything about Alf?
That brown thing.
Yes.
With the
Yeah.
Didn't he have like a pointed nose or something?
Yes, it was kind of
Wow.
like it was, oh my goodness, my age is showing.
For
real.
Look, you see me, I was like, I ain't gonna say that.
Because one of my Facebook friends put up a post, wishing everybody a happy Wednesday, and she used, all she said on there was, if you know this character, you had a great childhood with awesome television. And the character was Oscar the Grouch. And I was like, oh, Oscar was my favorite.
I have a
Can
friend
you-
that actually call him Oscar.
And it was like, and I was like, ooh, I am like for real, age stamping myself.
Well, not really, because, and the reason I'm gonna say not really is because, we have the 3-year-old who.
And Sesame Street is still going
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, that's
Is
what I
it
was
still
saying.
come on TV?
Yes, baby, they have modernized it and
See, I
kept it
don't want
up
to
to
see if
date.
it's modernized.
No, they've kept it on the same thing.
Like most of the characters are the same.
Yeah, but it's like, the delivery, it's just like a lot of the other stuff, when they fix it where it's more conducive to how the children are used to learning, like with the more up-to-date, graphics and different
okay.
things like that. But as far as the overall lessons, like Count Dracula, he's still there, the whole nine. Snuffleupagus and Big Bird were having a good conversation today, girl. It was.
I just found out that Big Bird is really an imaginary person on there.
Wait, what?
I did not know that. Big Bird is imaginary. He really don't.
I
exist.
will not receive that. So I'm telling
So
you,
we-
no,
I'm
you
sorry.
cannot
I'm
say that.
sorry.
We're gonna tell her no.
No.
No. Big Bird is real. What are you talking about?
Real. Big Bird is real.
I was like that too when I found out. I was like, but why do I see him? So on the show.
Exactly.
And why does he
Like,
talk to
okay, let's take
everybody?
a step back.
And that's
Who told you
that's
this?
why nobody talks to him. If you pay attention, nobody talks to him.
Snuffleupagus was talking to him
He's
today.
imaginary.
Well, we knew him snuffled up to you. But that
Yeah,
day,
Snuffleupagus. We knew he was a.
imaginary.
But see, that's not.
So the imaginary friend has an imaginary friend? Is that what you're telling me?
So the two best friends are both imaginary.
That's all
That
right.
just hurt my
They're still here. You
heart.
still see them.
I'm depressed now.
Don't be depressed. They're still there.
She said they're still there.
Right.
They
Weird.
just how to use their imagination.
Yeah, Yeah, that
My
is
daughter
true.
just learned how to use her imagination, and I was so excited when I realized that she's using her imagination.
That's awesome.
She would not. She's 8. She was born a little bit premature, and I kind of said, well, maybe that's the reason. She would not use her imagination. First of all, she's an only child, and I hear about me having a kid like every single day.
Okay.
She doesn't do well as an only child. She's very unhappy as an only child.
Gonna make her happy?
Huh?
Gonna make her happy?
Knowing when to say no.
I mean, one day, when when the good Lord is ready.
Eventually.
Eventually. So she just doesn't do well as an only child, but she would not use her imagination. I would say, Caitlin, you have a beautiful room with more than what you need. Go play. And if I wasn't sitting there playing with her, then she wasn't happy. And I don't play with Barbies. I didn't grow up with Barbies. I don't like Barbies, but she wanted to play Barbies. But thankfully, finally, like over the past 6 months, my baby has been using her imagination.
Yay.
She has, for Christmas, she got a reborn doll, and this doll feels so real. I really don't need to have a baby. I can just go and just hold this baby because it has real skin and everything.
Oh wow.
Better her.
Said. I don't need to have a baby.
With the reborn dolls, so she uses her imagination. She's a mommy, and it's amazing. So I was really worried at first, like, where's the creativity in this child? She won't draw. Like, she still won't go and do anything artistic without me asking her to go do it.
And that's like a real concern. And
Yeah.
dealing in school, that's like, as we talk amongst teachers, that's a real concern.
Well, see, not really if you think about it, because she may lean more toward the sciences and the maths, and more so that she may have more of a scientific.
She loves
But like
math.
even in
Right,
science,
then-
like, cause like when we talk about like having good imagination, the whole point of imagination is to make nothing out of something with your mind.
Yeah.
And like, and now you can see it with certain schools, like kids that don't have imagination don't have no motivation to create something that never been created. Even in art, like art teachers is like, I don't even know why, because kids don't want to do nothing. They don't even have an imagination, even try to think of nothing. And it's like, that's what the argument in the education world is like, yeah, technology is great, then it hurts. At the same
I'm
point.
not about this technology like with these children, and I'm not with it. I don't agree with it. I say no.
She
Yeah,
said
that's
strong.
good. 'cause
I
I was
say
going to
no.
ask that question.
Yeah,
I was going to
absolutely.
ask that question.
So my
Seriously.
daughter has a cell phone. We moved to Indy. She was riding the school bus, and there was a couple of situations where the bus was late, like hours late, and I'm like, where is my child? So
Yes.
because of that, I got her a cell phone and told her, you text me if something is going on. So she doesn't ride the bus anymore, but she still has the cell phone. She has a tablet. She has her own laptop. But I limit that stuff. I limit TV. You're not going to sit here and just spend all of your time. Number one, all of these electronics, the retinas in our eyes weren't created to be able to take all of this blue-ray light all the time, number one. And then you hunched over this, you're 8, I'm trying to get you to work on your posture, but you constantly want to sit like this, so I'm not with it. She gets upset with me because everyone else at school is bringing their phone to school, their tablet. I'm like, take a book.
At 8?
At 8.
At 8?
Oh, there are children that have them younger than that. There was a situation at my couple of my nephew's school down home in Mississippi where a 6-year-old had his cell phone stolen.
6?
I'm just saying what I'm saying. That's all
Wow.
I'm saying.
And that just makes you think, like, what are these parents doing?
They are pawning their child off on electronics and television.
And that's not okay. That is not okay.
They're allowing, but see, that's part of, if you think about when we talk about what's wrong with what's the generation under us?
Under who?
For the, under us, I forgot. I have to remember, because I'm dealing with, even though you all are younger, you all are more mature.
Oh.
And you all are in a different mindset,
yes.
Have a different mindset than a lot of your peers.
Mm-hmm.
So I often forget I'm the, okay.
It's okay.
I'm just making
I'm
you feel young.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez,
Looking good.
Louise. Oh,
She
see,
said,
that make me
"Jeez,
feel.
Louise, looking good."
Yes. Okay. Now they call them generation what? Not okay. Z is the one that's like coming through now.
I think my daughter is Generation 8, Generation Z.
Yeah, the youngest Z. Okay, now the ones
know
before
that
that. Is
She's
it?
like, y'all like.
All I know is I'm a millennial.
Is it? Okay,
Yeah.
you're millennial.
I'm a millennial.
Okay, then you have Generation X, or that, or are the millennials Generation
I
X?
got this right before them.
Okay,
They were right before us, the
Okay.
Generation X.
okay, and then you all are the millennials. Okay, and then you have those that are just in that friggin'
We have those
entitled.
people.
Yeah.
Like, where y'all come from?
Right, the ones
The
that have
ones that just
that.
kind of slid on
Slid
out
on
And
there.
through.
everybody wonders where the heck did you come
Yeah.
from and what's wrong with your brain and the whole nine. Yeah.
Yeah.
But but it just kind of, you kind of, I was saying that they were saying that that's the problem with a lot of the who are you all generation, because
Okay.
the parents weren't there. They, we had grandma, we had our village.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
If we got in trouble,
Got in trouble more
it
than
made
once.
the information made it home before we did. One, and depending on who was around when whatever jumped off, we got jacked up by the collar. At least I did. I needed it too. Boy,
oh my gosh, my
Oh.
mother is watching live now. I'll say again, sorry.
I apologize to my
I
parents
apologize.
so many times.
Let me tell you. So I'm part of that generation of children where the village was there, but we started getting into that point where we was talking back to the village. So I had this village, and they wanted to call my mama, but I would probably say something smart. So I'm like right on the threshold of getting snatched up to, I'll fight back. So, but these days you can't. There is no village. Like my daughter doesn't even go outside and play for real.
Nope.
But it's difficult to let your child go out and play because you don't know who your child is truly interacting with all the gang activity from knee-high to adult.
Yep.
Being here in Indianapolis has been so funny for me because being down home in Mississippi, there were so many frauds when you start talking about gang life.
Oh my gosh.
There were
yes.
so many frauds. And we used to talk to me and my husband used to talk to him and tell him, look, we could take you to the city. And the kind that you call yourself repping would take you off the scene because you have, one, no knowledge. Two, you all have no protocol, so you all have no idea why you sitting up here saying and doing, and you sitting up here, you call yourself a gangster, but you sitting up here and you shaking hands with a vice lord, and y'all hanging and this, that, and the third. It's like, bruh, don't you know those are grounds for murder, death, kill? If you were true,
Right.
if you were true to what you call yourself claiming, it wouldn't matter if it was family or not. G talks often about, how it hurt him to watch one cousin kill another cousin because they were on the flip side of that. On the flip side, yeah. Yeah, and it was like to sit there and watch, and to have to, try to get one cousin away so he could tend to another cousin, it's like, so when I start talking, when we're talking about our children, and telling them no, it's hard because my parents told me no quite a few times when I wanted to go to this person's home or go spend the night at that house or even just go hang out for a couple hours after school. I remember being disobedient, getting off the bus and going on down to XYZ's house anyway, knowing good and bad blasted well, it was just like maybe 3 or 4 houses down from our home. And my mom made it home before I made it home. But what I didn't know
Right,
was,
look, you like, you hurt.
but what I wasn't aware of at first was part of the village watched me walk down the way.
Okay.
So they let Luella know, okay,
What was
just so
really
you
going
know,
on.
so you can calm down before you get here. Because they knew if she walked in and I wasn't there, it was going to be like, whoa. My mom was sweetest. I mean, she was so sweet, but when it came down to being disobedient, she didn't play. She did not play. She was an educator.
Okay.
So
I
she.
remember her jacking us up in college.
My mama, I think my mama would still slap me. She would try.
Mhm.
Every now and then I try
Catch
to
me.
do
I know
it,
she-
but she
yeah.
live in a whole different city. But if I'm in front of her, I ain't gonna say too much. I mean, you know.
It's like your eyes may communicate, and she gonna turn and you and what's that? What was that you said? I didn't say anything. But I saw that look.
She got her knee fixed now. My mom had a knee replacement recently, so she could probably catch me now.
Well, is she doing
She's
okay?
doing amazing. It's like she never had the surgery.
Yeah.
No, that's awesome.
I took off work and I went up there with her. I ended up coming home early. I was like, you don't need me. It's like
That's
she has
phenomenal.
recovered so amazing. She's getting ready to have her second one done.
That's what my
And it
mom.
was such a blessing.
My mom's.
I was really worried.
That's
when
awesome.
she was going in. I was worried.
Because so many people have so many issues.
Yeah.
You know, when you start talking along those lines. But I wanted to hit a little bit on some of the, you know, like I said, on the when to say no's.
Right.
And
How about the whys to say no? Not just the
when, why, when, why, and how. That's what this one.
Yes,
and this,
how do you
How do you
say
say
no?
and this is one article from Psychology
What
Today.
language you want to hear it in?
So you good at saying no since you said
No, and no. That's the language.
no?
Nope, nada, hell no. And we're gonna keep it.
Nine.
Nah,
Not happening.
Where
we
my
ain't
mom's
going
were,
there.
next to the 9. Next to the 9.
Well, and I think I've learned, but I've learned. Okay, I'm just a moment of transparency. I had a hard time saying no. I had a very, very hard time saying no. However, I have physical issues, and my physical issues will shut my body absolutely, positively all the way down. That's how she ended up here. Because my body would just be like, oh, you gonna keep saying yes to people? I got a trick for you. Now you can't move. Now you can't get up on your own. Now your whole body about to go into complete, absolute shutdown. And you can't move and function on your own because you don't know how to say no. So over the past year, and it's been like a year and a half, no has become a part of my vocabulary. The other thing that I have learned is no is a statement, is a full, complete statement and
Yes, it
sentence
is.
and explanation all by its damn self.
Yes, it is.
All by itself.
Mm-hmm.
Just no.
It's a statement and an explanation.
It's a statement and explanation. No.
No.
So once you say it, you don't have nothing.
It's a
else.
wrap.
You don't need it. You don't need any
It's a wrap.
reasoning behind it.
No.
Yeah. No.
Ah,
Look, Kiana's like,
I was like, I don't know that.
No, it's a complete sentence.
What's hard about it? Kid? Like, what's your thoughts?
my biggest struggle is disappointing people.
Oh my gosh.
And that's
yes.
whether I know, like, I can know in my heart and soul, and like, no, you really don't need me to do that for you, and I don't really have to be here. But in their eyes, it's like, but I want you here. I need you to do this, and it's like, okay.
Well, we're gonna hit that too.
My mom's saying on Facebook, you must take care of yourself before you take care of anyone else.
See,
She
listen
tells
to
me that
mama.
all
Listen
the
to mama.
time, and
Listen
I-
to mama.
Yeah, you do.
You have
And you
to.
mentioned your physical issues, and sometimes I feel like I'm just made of steel. Like, I just, I
did.
can just go. I know, and
I
it's probably
did.
gonna catch up
Let me tell you,
quicker than later.
I knew that I had growths.
Okay.
Okay, I've known it, known it for years. I've had issues where, it has sat me down. But, at the same time, I still keep going.
Keep going.
My daughter's sweet 16. on top of doing all of this for her Sweet 16, we literally had a ball for her Sweet 16. Like the big dresses, the mask, the whole
The dress change,
costume changes, the whole nine. We literally had a masquerade ball for her Sweet 16. And everything that we did, I had my fingers in. And we didn't hire anyone else to do any of this for us. From the cooking to the cleaning to the decorations to the going back and forth with the dress. So on top of doing all of this, I'm doing True Black Girl Magic. On top of doing all of this, I'm doing all this stuff for my job. I'm doing all kinds of community, just community events and being involved with this and with that. I was involved with the school. It wasn't the school then, it was the barbershop. Just involved with everything.
Another
Yeah,
service.
and then again, and then on top of that, I'm dealing with, relationships, I'm dealing with friendships, I'm dealing with, I have a group of girlfriends, and I swear every weekend we was doing something. So on top of everything else, literally on top of everything else, I'm doing this stuff too. I'm working for this organization, I'm doing this with this organization. I was sleeping maybe like 2 or 3 hours a night sometimes. The night of my daughter's ball, this is when I learned that I have to learn how to say, I had to learn how to say no. Because I did all of this up to the day of my daughter's ball. Just going nonstop. The night of my daughter's ball, I don't remember the end of her ball. My stepdaughter, bonus daughter, my daughter's older sister had to help me, her and her mother had to help me get out of my gown. I have no memory of that. I have no memory of the end of the ball. I have no memory. I have no memory from the time, like, my parents left and my mom was saying to me, then, you don't look so good, you need to sit down. And I'm like, no, I'm good. I walked them out to the car. I came back in. I think I was talking to somebody and I sat down, like, to have a drink or something.
That was me.
Is it you?
Yeah, because I told you to sit your butt down.
I have no further memory until about 5 or 6 hours later, and I was at home in my bed, in my pajamas.
Wow.
I didn't see the children off, like the parents had come, and some of them drove. I didn't see. I have no memory of any of that.
So were there any, going through all of this, did you ever feel yourself saying, I need to just chill for a moment, I'm doing too much? Or
And it would be people, because like people would be like, I need you to do, or come hang out with us, or come and do, and please, and I need, and this, and I'd be like, oh my God, I got so much on my plate. And that's what I would say to her all the time. I was just like, I need you here because I have so much going on, and I do so much, and I have so much going on. I don't know whether I'm coming or going some days. And so that was a huge part of her coming here, not just for the, for the party, but for coming to, just try to kind of help me and to kind of sort me out a little bit. And
yeah, I became the bad guy.
Look, and you're still here.
Yeah,
she was definitely the bad guy.
I became the bad guy because a lot of people really started to take offense to this chick from nowhere coming in and basically shutting her down because truly, well, we used to do every I used to see you almost every day or every weekend or but they weren't realizing her getting off work, running to where they were to spend that hour or hour and a half, then having to come home, deal with Kayana, making sure that she had her projects done, make sure her homework was done, making sure she fed her child, making sure that she had her household in order. Her parents are a little older, so making sure that they were straight on a consistent basis. Yeah. Okay, you're sitting up here with a whole family, boo-boo kitty. Let your man deal with
servant to everyone else.
And so I became the bad guy because I had to help sis see, while I know you love, and see, there'll be times, even though we were under the same roof, I'd be like, bye. She would go to her room, lights off, salt lamp on, relaxing music if that's what she wanted, or complete silence and darkness if that's what she wanted. If your phone hits do not disturb except for emergency contacts only, because when her body would get to that point, it would be like, unbeknownst to them, it would take 2-3 days for her to actually
Recover.
because see, that first day she was bedridden. She would be bedridden, in complete and total pain, unable to process anything in her system, and then we would have to slowly, it's almost like being in the hospital having surgery, where they will put you on a liquid diet, then move you back to silence. To hell you preach.
Right.
You will not die because you worried about every damn body else. You will not run yourself into the ground because you are sitting up here running and doing for everybody else when you need to be chilling or doing something for yourself.
That's what I was gonna say. Sometimes, oftentimes, especially me, I feel like I give and give and give, and constantly like, okay, I'm tired, but it'll be fine. I'll go to sleep later. It'll be fine. I'll get that rest tomorrow, and then it just keeps on becoming a cycle of just, okay, I'm so tired. Like why? Like I don't. Why? How?
Okay, let me let you all in on a secret.
Look, you see me raising my hand, right?
It says when to say no. And listen to what it says. I want you all to truly listen. It says check with your body for the right answer.
Your body?
Our bodies have their own wisdom that we often ignore because as a social species, our brains have evolved to suppress negative emotions about others.
Wow.
Say that again. What? Suppress negative emotions about others.
It says our bodies have their own wisdom that we often ignore because as a social species, we're very social or what have you. Our brains have evolved to suppress negative emotions about others. It says as a result, we frequently don't know what we really feel and what's best for us. This suppression of feelings is unfortunate because our bodies are on the battlefields on which conflicting emotions go to war. Hence, her body shutting down. It says which conflicting emotions go to war, producing battle damage that harms our health. It makes sense that that one way to avoid stress-induced health problems is to carefully check what's going on in our bodies before the war, of emotions gets out of hand. It says, now it gave an example or what have you, but the next thing it says is if saying yes gives you uneasy sensations, tightness in your chest, or belly cramps, you shouldn't say yes. I'm going to read that again for those that didn't hear it up in the bleachers. If saying yes gives you uneasy sensations, tightness in your chest, or belly cramps, you shouldn't, that means should not, that's the contraction, say yes. If saying no gives you a twinge of excitement, energy, and empowerment that reinforces the uneasy sensations that go with saying yes, then no is the obvious answer.
Wow. I need to reevaluate my whole life.
It says, but sometimes the answer isn't so obvious. For example, when you feel excited by saying both yes and no, or anxious about giving both answers. In such cases, simply ask yourself which answer elicits the stronger physical sensations and go with whatever your body feels strongest. In other words, put yes bodily sensations on a scale against no bodily sensations to see which are weightier. In the illustration below, the body wants to say both yes and no, but the positive feelings of saying no outweighs the sensations of saying yes, so the best answer would be no. What do you think about that? Because the next one is gonna go, why saying no can be so important. So, as we process that part, cause you both are sitting up here like, look, Kiana's going like, oh man, and
I'm
Roger's sitting up here like, I just need to evaluate my whole
Start
life.
saying no to everybody. No, there is not a chance.
She's like,
Because basically what you're describing is my feeling of anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
When I'm wanting to say no, even though like, the way that I can describe it is my mind wants to say no, but my heart wants to say yes. And I give in to my heart more often than not.
Gotcha.
Even though I'm feeling that physical anxiety, I've learned to suppress it and just keep pushing, right? Because God made me this strong woman, and I have a servant heart, and I don't mind helping others.
Right.
And this person asks me because they need me. And I'm always like, okay, yeah, you're tired, but it's okay. This person may not be as strong as you.
Yeah.
You know, even I can go back to my little daughter, my number one manipulator.
She said my number one manipulator. Oh,
She
yeah,
knows how to
she-
get me. You know, and oh, nothing.
She was look, did she check me and say, no, I'm not even hearing that right there. See, that's what you need to do right there. No, nothing. Nothing. No.
I tried. So, you know, she asked for some Jordans for Christmas. I'm like, absolutely not. I'm not paying $100 for Jordans. But then she had a little situation that happened recently that made me sad for her. So it's a lot, for me with her, it's a lot of guilty mom issues. So she had a situation that made me sad. I'm like, so what did I go do?
Got the joy.
I got the damn Jordans last night. I went
and
and bought
she's
the Jordans.
salty about it
Let me
too.
tell you. So and I try to trick myself, right? You know,
To justify going to get them.
no, just act like we're not gonna go get them when I know
The doggone well where we're headed.
we're
Yeah.
going to try these shoes on real quick because I needed to go get some makeup. So let's run to the mall real quick. We'll try these shoes on. We just gonna try them on. Oh, they cute. Let me take a picture and send it to Kurt. These cute, right? Okay, yeah, we'll take them. You know, so I really tried, but in my mind, it's, you know.
You left the house knowing exactly
You
what
already
you were
had
going
I
to
thought
do.
about the Jordans. I thought about them.
And once you did that, it was a done deal.
It was a done deal. You know, so it's, you know, I don't know. When I want to say no to, not even considering her, with other people, if I want to say no, I constantly find myself thinking about their feelings and not my own.
But see, guess who has to
Not really
deal
a
with
word.
your health issues when you say, okay, and
She did.
right.
My family does. And that's what
Mhm.
I've been like recently learning this year, just with me being an independent artist, doing everything on my own, and still, because I'm learning this knowledge, wanting to share it with anybody.
world.
Yeah, anybody that's like, because I know what it felt like to want to like do certain things, but feel like nobody's helping you out. Like, so in my heart, that's why I always help out, because I feel like I knew what it felt like when I asked nobody
When you
help.
felt alone.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So I always help out, and like when I get to the points where I feel like you said, the tightness in your chest, and in my mind, I'm like, I need to say no.
Yeah.
But I'm going to tell you what I've had to learn, and it has been so friggin' liberating. O-M friggin' G! You have to just, and if people can say what they want, but you have to be selfish with you. Because when your body breaks down, they're still living their life. You're the one that's sitting up there stressing and up in the middle of the night trying to get whatever done for somebody else.
Thinking about people and their
While they sitting up there
situations.
getting their 5,
Woo.
6, 12, 8 hours of sleep.
And I'm saying, thinking
And-
about you. And
Right.
how I can help you.
And you and look, and then 9 times out of 10, you're doing it out of the kindness of your heart. It's not so much as you've been contracted to do it or you're being paid to do it. You know, so that's where, even with my sister, that's where I had to, You know, I didn't make her do anything. I just brought it to her awareness that, you know, this is what's going on. So when they, you know, because when they would ask her, so guess who was going to get pulled in if they asked her? And so I would be like, tell them hell no.
I'm not doing that.
Nope,
She said
we're
yeah.
not doing
I say
No,
She meant to say
we don't have
no.
time. No, we're not doing that. No, we already have X, Y, Z going on. We don't have room for elemental P.
Girl, and I would try to squeeze elemental P in there.
Man.
Right.
I'm
And it's
like, girl,
hard.
you don't have the time.
N-O-P,
Listen.
W-X-Y-Z, 241893.
All of that. Yeah,
It was
yeah.
supposed to be nothing about letters, not even numbers in here.
Right.
Yeah, like,
And see, you find yourself, you know, and I hate to say it this way, but you know, we talk about, you know, and I've always, you know, and I've teased about it on other shows about me having to take nerve pills.
girl. Ooh.
Since I've started saying heck no,
Y'all gotta take that pill?
baby, I just drink a cup of kava tea and go about my business. It, you know, it just relaxes my nerves and I go about my business. It's natural. I'm good. I haven't had a nerve pill in how many months? It's been a while.
At least since we moved into this house.
Yeah.
My mom said, yes, take that pill. I'm the advocate of the pill.
Look, sometimes I be like,
do you need a cocktail?
And
And she will
I'll
answer.
say cocktail. I don't need it. I don't
But
want
see,
it.
that's
not even good,
right.
you know. So.
Right. So, but it says
blasphemous. You're sitting next to a bartender. Blaspheme, blaspheme.
girl,
Girl, get
it's
out
a
the
blessing.
Listen, I don't really need a bartender. I just need straight.
Just let her hook up some apple cider, or that her coffee creamer is the.
Coffee creamer.
Oh, yeah, I make coffee creamers.
But we'll do that show another time.
Okay.
It's like, okay, so why saying no can be
Why
so
say no?
important. If after weighing your feelings you discover that your body's answer is no, saying the opposite will make you feel helpless, and helplessness can damage your body. In a famous study of learned helplessness in rats, J.M. Weiss found that the stress of receiving unavoidable electric shocks caused many more ulcers than the stress associated with avoiding shocks that rats knew were coming. So instead of the rats got more ulcers from the anxiety of knowing if this thing that is going to happen, more than their bodies responded to the actual shock.
The anticipation.
The anxiety affected them physically more
Yeah.
Than the actual.
than the actual act.
I can feel that because I
Yeah.
swear it got to be an ulcer down in this belly. So I just be like, would you just relax stomach?
It says Martin Seligman, how he says it, who developed the concept of learned helplessness through his research on dogs, asserted that helplessness is a major contributor to depression in humans. And depression suppresses our immune system, making us more vulnerable to infection, while significantly elevating the risk of cardiovascular disease. A colleague of Seligman's, whoever she is, reinforced a long name and Kennedy's work linking submissiveness to lowered immunity by demonstrating that learned helplessness compromises the immune system of rats, decreasing their ability to fight off cancer.
Wait. So you telling me that by sitting up here and going through the anxiety, basically, of
Not wanting to tell people no.
Yeah.
You
you're
jack yourself.
lowering your own immune system.
Yes.
You're damaging your own immune system.
Yes.
Well, I'll just be
I'm
the
dead.
The answer is
See?
no to everybody. No. Just no. No.
She didn't say no to everybody. She said no.
Just no.
It says, finally, researchers, well, I'm going to tell you all something. When they start talking about the cardiovascular part,
Yeah.
the doctors told me, you know, after everything had gone on with me, that part of the reason, now my thyroid had a lot to do with it, but part of the reason I had some of my issues was because I was my mother's caregiver. I moved back from Atlanta to be my mother's caregiver. She was dealing with cancer and would do it all over again. But the stress behind not being able to do anything to help her,
Oh,
not being able to take, cause I even prayed and I was like, God, I would rather you give it to me
yes.
than to have her go through it. My body is younger. I would rather deal with this and let her, she has done everything, sacrificed her whole world, her whole life, her and my dad, for our family, for other people. Just put it on me.
Yeah.
Take the stress off of her. And to look at her, you would have never known she had cancer. But because I made it a point that aside from the side effects from her medication, she didn't have to worry about crap. When she woke up in the morning, her breakfast was ready. When she turned around and was like, I want to go to XYZ ABC, okay, we rolling. I want, what's coming up that you want to do? We stayed on the move. Her life remained.
Just letting her live her best
Yes,
life.
she remained active. We stayed on the road. We stayed gone. Visiting family, visiting friends, just going just because she wanted to go. But in the reality of it all, and I tell people now, had I realized, because I kept all of the stuff I was feeling inside, all of the stress from it all inside, to the point that had I realized, I knew there were support groups for people going through cancer, but I didn't think about the fact that there are support groups for caregivers of people, not just for those dealing with cancer, but caregivers, period.
Yeah.
And we all need that outlet. And the doctors told me, my surgeon and my cardiovascular doctor, just the primary doctor, told me straightway that stress is one of the main reasons you are in the situation you're in. Stress, they were like, we don't know what all what all you had to do and endure, but a big part of it is because of stress. So when I tell you, I learned how to tell people kiss my butt real quick. And people used to think, they was like, you just mean, you just call me whatever you want to, darling. Call me what you will. But I have a whole lot more life I need to live. I've been under the knife because I've allowed other people's stuff. And it wasn't always important stuff.
It was just stuff.
Worry, my brain.
Yeah.
Stress. My husband and I, some of our biggest fights was because I was taking on everybody else's battles. From when we were just dating. Oh, by the way, happy anniversary, boo boo.
See, I was getting ready to bust out with that. I was waiting.
But even when we were dating, he was like, babe, that's not your problem. But I love them. Okay, you can love them, but you don't have to solve their
You
problems.
gotta love you.
And I told him, I said, when I know that the people I love are okay, then I'm okay.
Yeah.
He said, but you can't be okay when you sitting up here and you worried and you stressed. He said, you're going to have to learn how to be available, but not internalize everything that they're dealing with. Because there was a couple situations where I wanted to, do some damage to some folks because they went after some people that I love. But you have to, and when and we worked and we argued, we fought, we cussed, the whole nine, because I ride for mine. I ride for mine. I don't give a hoo-ha what you talking about. This is even down in Mississippi. we haven't really had that major issue up here, cause he knew coming up here what it was gonna be. Yeah, and plus, you know, this, yeah. So, but it was like down there, it was like, I'm riding.
So what did you do so you realized that you needed to make a change? What steps did you take to make that change?
What I had to do was difficult. One of the people that I had to start saying no to was my younger brother.
Ooh.
My brother has his children, and thank God he has an awesome wife now. But I would take on a lot of the parenting responsibilities that were his. Thank God he has, he had full custody, has full custody of his children from a previous relationship, previous marriage. But during the course of his singleness, I took on that maternal role. Hence, taking on a lot of his responsibility that would have helped him to develop and mature even more as he was growing. And, even though he was a great father and is a great father, but I took on a lot of that responsibility, a lot of the financial, even though he would work, I would take on making sure, because that maternal instinct
That we all have.
it was one of those deals where if I don't have, those babies are gonna be straight.
Yep.
And see, men and their priorities are a lot different than ours. While they are like, okay, as long as you got the money for the light bill and the gas bill and this bill, then everything is good. Okay, but your child still need clean drawers, socks. They don't need to be walking around here like they trying to be in Michael Jackson's Moonwalker video. You need to make sure that your kids have clothes that fit them, and these are the things, because men tend to be so big picture, instead of me taking the time with him and teaching him.
You just took the role.
I took on that role to the point where he became comfortable. So, like I said, me and my husband, we went round and round. This is my brother, and da-da-da-da-da, and whoop-de-whoop. I'm not telling you not to love your brother, but I'm telling you to let your brother be their parent. Let him, help him. We both will do whatever we got to do, like we've been doing, but you need to step back.
Let him be that father you know he can be.
And let him, right.
Yeah.
But if I just go, then he's not doing it, baby. If you doing it, he's not.
not doing it.
That hurts
He's
your
not
heart when
learning.
people tell you
Man,
that.
it did.
Yes.
But when I tell you, when I started staying in the bed when it was time for those kids to get up for school, my husband would say, he said, I dare you to move. Because when the alarm would go off, because I always wanted to make sure that they looked like I wanted them, because you know how we are.
Yes.
Want them to look like we want them to look when they walk out, because they representing us. And so, and then one morning he was like, I dare you to get up. And I was like, but I just want to make sure that their father is up with them. He is able. He's a great dad. He knows what, and I was so proud of him. His daughter's hair, my niece's hair was beautiful. He remembered to make sure that the baby boy brushed his hair and his teeth. It's those little things.
Yeah.
But stepping back, to answer your question, that's the hardest thing, because we know if we do it, it's done right.
Yes.
Control freaks.
That right there.
If I do it, I know
It's
it's gonna be
done right.
done
Right.
correctly to the T. I ain't gotta worry about it. But when somebody else, that's another stress, to be sitting there worried about.
Speaking of which, he just called me on Duo. Dude, I'm on live.
Babe, you know. Or probably because he can't call into the station. So he was trying to call.
Oh, that
He's trying
is
to join the
true.
show.
I don't know.
She said, oh no.
I don't know. Let me look. But I'm a, so he may have, oh Lord, have mercy.
He about to get all up in your stuff.
He
In
might
the
be.
meantime,
Mm-hmm.
I understand the anxiety when it comes to the saying no. By no means are we saying that we are above it. We've gotten to the point where, you know, we don't suffer from those issues. I have a little person in my home because I couldn't say no. Because I did not want, again, I know if I'm doing it, it's done right. This is someone that, you know, I loved and was very protective of. And I love and care about her mother. Her mother's going through some things. And people are like, you know, by doing what you're doing, you're enabling her mother. And I'm just like, you know what?
No.
I can't truly worry about her at this point in time. I worry about her. I worry about her health. I worry about her well-being. I worry, you know, how she's doing, how she's handling life, you know, and this and that and the other. But on the flip side to that,
You saving your life.
That's what I was about to say. That's what I was
I'm
gonna say.
holding
Yeah,
on to
it's
that
a
little one.
person. Yeah.
I'm holding on
They're
to that little
innocent
one.
and they deserve to be protected.
Yeah.
Okay, but let me tell you something. When it goes back to the whole singing up thing, mine is 17.
Oh. What?
This one just turned 3.
Oh,
Oh, you're not talking about your little
On
person.
the
You're
road
talking about a
again?
3-year-old.
man.
Yes.
She has got
that
me
restart
on the
button.
road
You
again.
really hit the restart button.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So when we talk about saying no, you know, it's not one of those. It was just we just hit a roadblock one day. It was just like, nope, everything's a no, everything's a no, everyth's a no.
But there was an
No.
emergency situation.
That was an emergency situation that was supposed to last a few weeks, but again, so it is not just one of those. I mean, we do have to get to a point where we're putting ourselves first and we're thinking about ourselves. But there are times where,
But see, and the initial part was an emergency, but I must commend my sister because she is slowly, reacclimating some. She's putting her foot down about some things where it's like this is not a permanent situation, and if it's going to be permanent, we need to make permanent moves. So I don't even have to worry or be concerned with you on your, when it comes down to you. Not saying that you wouldn't be a part of, little one's life, but we need to make. So I'm proud of my sister because she is, now that mom is doing a little better, she's putting her foot down on some things. Whereas, my sister initially would probably be like, I'm not even gonna worry with it. I'm just gonna ride with it until I know no, because sometimes just like with my brother, you have to take that convenience away. You have to force them to grow the hell up, even though they're adults biologically. Sometimes you have to force them to grow the hell up and handle their own responsibilities. And it's hard when you love these people because they are ingrained.
Siblings, I believe. So you love your children, right?
Right.
I love my daughter. She came, but it's something about my little brother.
What you saying? Yes.
Let me tell you something.
Don't even
He
look at
irks
him.
my entire nerve, the last fiber of my being.
That's a direct quote.
But that's for my brother. We may not even be talking. We have gotten into it. I would not even talk to him.
Yeah.
But you had better not. You had better not. It's something about siblings. I don't know what it is, what that vibe like is.
It's
I'm with
unity, that
He
blood.
irritates me like so much. In so many
Why
different
are you
ways.
breathing? Like they're
Right.
like, why are you even
Why did mommy even bring you home? I had a little white cat. Had to get rid of the cat when you came
Well,
home.
I thought that he was a little white baby when I saw him in the
Listen.
hospital because he was so fair skinned.
But that love for your sibling, the love for your mother and your parents is strong. The love for your children, but there's something about that sibling love.
That's your first marriage, I feel like.
I used to call him my baby.
Okay. So my brother and I are not speaking right now. Like we have blocked each other. We're not speaking right now. Some other folks got in the middle, it's caused a whole lot of confusion. We're not talking to each other right now. Let somebody tell me
Let.
He's in trouble.
he's hurt.
Or he needs
Listen.
let somebody tell. Now, if I saw him right now and he was all good, I probably wouldn't try to run him over with my truck. I ain't gonna lie, because that's just.
Yeah.
But
Only I can hurt him.
thank you.
Yeah.
But you know, and I mean, when he was here, we cussed, we fought up one wall, down the other, the whole street, and blocked off phones, social media. Don't talk to me. Fall over and die. Don't talk to me. However, let somebody say he said.
I am struggling right now. So my little brother, in full transparency, my little brother is incarcerated. And this was a blow to my mother and I. We're a small family. My brother he don't have a criminal history. He made a mistake, a pretty horrendous mistake, under the influence of alcohol, and he's incarcerated. And I think about him more like,
This thing called.
I would just be sitting here working, just sitting here in my mind. I'm like, it's been an hour, and I'm sitting here thinking about my brother. How is he doing? What's life gonna look like for him after this? Just constantly just thinking.
But see, the blessed part is, unlike so many, he has you and your mom. He has a network already in place.
No, I ain't messing with it when he get
No,
out.
I'm not. Yeah, right.
Okay, but
I ain't messing with it when he get out.
I said it too.
But
I
I'm just
said it too.
saying, and what I'm saying is, you all can help him be it, not necessarily bringing him in your house and all that stuff, but if
We had comments. People were commenting. There's comment on the thread, comment on Facebook, and hitting our phones.
so, but it was one of those situations where, with him, he's blessed enough to have you to be able to help have some things in place when he gets out, because you're connected to
And that's
someone that is a part of an organization that helps to reacclimate
Reacclimate to the
into, you know, even if you don't wanna turn around and have them come to your house, there's transitional housing where they get their jobs, then they help them find homes and, you know, places of their own to stay. So it's like, you know, even when it comes down to expungements and all of that, you know, it's like the network that we're a part of is you know, we're able to do and help a lot of especially our black brothers, you know. But don't get me started on them right now, because sis had to almost snap me up, because I was on one today about the double standard when it come down to our brothers.
Hey,
that's right.
hey,
Yep, I saw that. You stopped
hey,
that.
Wusa,
What? Huh?
Drop it.
let it go.
What I do?
That's a whole
Another
show.
segment.
Yeah, that's a whole show. Today is about sisterhood.
It sure enough is.
It's about sisterhood. It's about us coming together, being sisters, even to our brothers, but being sisters. But I think one of the things that I have been truly blessed with in my life, there have been some really phenomenal women. Not all of them are still in my life right now, but who, for the time that they were in my life, they were crucial. And they were crucial to my growth, and they were crucial to my strength, to whatever was going on. And then there are those who have been in my life. Like I have a friend, Maria, been in my life since I was 6 years old. This one's been in my life. Look, we became cool because I was in school in Mississippi from New York, lived in Indiana, and went to school in Mississippi. I'm standing there, this dude is going slam off on me. You hear me? Going off. But
Said New York came out.
I just heard the name for the very first time. I'm like, well,
But I couldn't understand the word he was saying.
because he was
So-
somewhere.
Somewhere down there.
Mississippi.
So the only thing I knew was he was going off on me, and I'm standing there looking at him. I'm like, should I laugh? Am I supposed to be
What's
scared?
really happening?
It really is.
Right.
However, this woman was way on the other side of the student union and heard him and understood what was being said. Understood better than I did that there was some impending danger coming in my
Sounds like a
direction.
pretty volatile situation.
And because I'm just standing there looking at, and again from New York, I'm like,
My sister
What?
from another land.
Look,
Show you how this
what?
is.
And so she comes up and she's like, oh yeah, you know, nah, that's not great, you know. And so she backed him down. And we've been thick as thieves ever since. But it was one of those, but again, that was, how old were we? 18? I was
Really?
17, 18.
Yeah.
So I was 17, 18 years old.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, baby, I can make one move.
Yeah, don't look at that, it wakes me out. But I mean, you know, it's like 17, 18 years old, you know, and here we are now, president. And
That right there.
but I mean, so you know, but she has been critical. I mean, and even in taking this journey, I mean, we are now just about a year in taking this journey. She came up here to help me with my daughter's ball, and she's not left my side. So when I talk about my sisterhood, and I met you on a humble, and I was just like, that's my little sister. Like, first time I met her, I was like, that's my little sister. I don't care what y'all say.
Right.
And met you through True
For the
Black
open
Magic.
I was like, how we meet? It was,
Yeah, and then, you know, and Sugar, okay, me and Sugar, we had moments. We had a whole moment, we was not talking
But they
shit,
were
blocked
grown
me.
women.
We was grown, but
They
we
came
we
back
did.
together.
We did, cause we had a whole
That's how it
moment.
should be.
We had a whole moment where we wasn't on our grown woman, but then, you know, we was just like, you know what, so then it came toe to toe, you know, I think folks was really concerned that it was getting ready to be some for real static, but it was just like, you know, I don't appreciate what you did, I don't appreciate what you said, and I damn sure don't appreciate you blocking me. And she looked at me,
Ain't no better way to say F you than to block somebody.
and you know, and she looked at me, she said, go on, twin, you go on, and unblock me on Facebook right now, here's your phone, unblock me right now, right
That's
down.
beautiful, though.
And she did. And I mean, and that's just, and you know, and we just been rolling.
But there
you
are
know.
times where people, you have to have that space.
Yeah.
You know, when things get volatile and you know both personalities are volatile and very strong.
Yeah.
There are times where you need to say, you know what, I love you, but fuck you.
Yes, on this radio station.
I just need for it to come out, Steve, because I know we
We can say
try
this on this radio station, this station
I'm
here.
sorry. I wasn't meaning it
Like
in that way, but
Yeah, but
yeah, thank
Yeah.
you. But that's kind of yeah. But I want to teach y'all how to say no.
Wait, so some of our viewers are suggesting that we kind of reintroduce ourselves to the people that just joined, or reintroduce what we're talking about.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm Kenyatta, or
Turn it so they can
Key.
see her.
You gonna turn? Oh. Here,
Oh,
I'm
okay.
Oh, there.
Hey y'all.
Hi.
Let me
I mean,
leave
that's
one.
what
Hey
we're talking
y'all.
about,
Tonight we're talking about sisterhood,
Mhm.
learning, not necessarily learning, but supporting one another, but also knowing when to say no. But most importantly, you know, it's for me. And when we talked about doing the show, it was, you know, just the bond and the strength and just sisterhood. Because I think one of our very first radio shows that we did together, we went to Chicago, and the title of it was, you know, is the sisterhood broken? Or the broken sisterhood, or something like that. And we went up there and we were just like, you know what? No.
No.
Hell no, the sisterhood is not broken.
Right.
Because when we talk about, am I my sister's keeper? Well, you've heard it.
yeah.
You've heard it. There are people in my life who are just like, who is this woman? Where did she come from? And where did she get off telling me no, and that you're not getting ready to do something, or that you can't come?
As if she is you.
Yes. Where's she? How's she speaking?
But in your
like
heart,
that?
though, you know it's love, and in your heart, though, you know you in that situation,
something.
you're like,
I don't even do roommates.
oh, ain't nobody coming.
I don't do roommates.
Me
I couldn't do roommates in college. I would do like 7 roommates in my first semester of my freshman year. Like I don't do roommates. I don't want you in my kitchen. I don't want you in my space. We up under the same roof. No, because you know you go through your little womanly things. I don't want you bothered. Get up out my space.
all of what she's saying.
You know, you come and visit, you can come over, we can have
For like
dinner.
48 hours, maybe.
You know, you
And
can
then-
come over, you can visit, we gonna have drinks, we gonna eat good, we gonna laugh, we gonna watch some movies, we gonna talk, we
And
gonna
you
have a
can
good
leave.
time, and then you gonna go back to your house, and I'm gonna go back to mine. We've been together how long now?
Yeah.
Yeah. Under the same roof.
She said,
That's a blessing.
Cooking in the same
That's a
kitchen.
blessing.
And that's what blows my
That is a
husband's
blessing.
mind. That blows my husband's mind because he's like, you all are just like in the kitchen, just because the first time he saw us coexist in the kitchen, it was like you all just instinctively knew you gonna do this part, she was gonna do this part, and y'all didn't even talk about it. He just sat there, and I didn't even realize he was paying that close attention. He said, "But you don't deal with females. You don't deal with women like that because they're so catty and they're messy, and your personality just don't work. Like just don't fit." And it blows his mind a lot of times that she and I. And when we say we are yin and yang, it's the truth. But back to the introduction. Okay, this is Key from this thing called Life. I'm Dee, aka Demetria Brand, triplet, effective 9 years ago. Oh, sorry, I had a moment. I got a whole hunk of burning love waiting on me when I get home.
Whatever.
Happy anniversary, Black Lives
Yes,
Matter.
get up.
I know, right? Look, I know. The bane of her existence a lot
I'm
of
not
times.
gonna give him that song. He liked that King song up before.
Yes.
I love
Yes,
that.
yes,
Yes.
that was awesome.
And how about I was trying to find it, and I was like, because I recorded it when you did it, and I was like, I'm gonna have to ask her for it because I can't find it. I know
Where's
she
another
got
from?
but it's like, but for those that don't know, we have Miss Kiana. She
Greetings,
is,
everyone.
I mean, oh yeah, but she's phenomenal, y'all. She is phenomenal.
I'm really not that much of a talker, but I am
Me neither.
Kiana Flowers. I am an independent artist, and I'm on this thing called Life, talking about life for real. Because I need to know how to say no to a lot of people out there. Y'all know who y'all is? Y'all know who y'all is?
She just went straight hood.
My mom is thinking that this is the only panel. Mom, we're on YouTube. Can somebody drop the link to my, because my mother's like, what does the panel look like?
Okay.
Let's do it on
Facebook.
Facebook or something.
I tagged you.
What you saying? Mom, you gotta go to Facebook. Just,
No, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna send
Or
you the
YouTube.
link so you
Okay.
can send it to her real quick.
Yeah. Okay.
she been rolling with us for the whole show. Thank you, Mom.
Hey, Mom.
Hey, Mom. And I want to say that there are a couple more members who are missing, but that we are all members of True Black Girl Magic Indiana chapter.
Miss Roslyn didn't introduce herself yet.
Hello, I'm Miss Roslyn.
Now, even though the voice is a little bit deeper, he's over in the cut. He's making sure that we sound all right.
He's
See?
sweet.
I'm about to say, don't believe the hype. Don't. Even though we got DJ Mo hype up in here. So we got the best producer and engineer in the whole wide world.
What about Brittany?
I love her.
She's phenomenal, isn't he?
She really is.
But he's the producer in it. Okay.
Yes.
See, sister good.
Yes. Yeah.
Although we love us some Steve. Steve is actually a part. Okay, see, he likes to try to pretend like, because he get on here and he won't say much, but Steve is actually a part of our show. So.
Yeah, he really is. We have just basically adopted him as a part of the show.
Yeah. Because he always gives that,
That male perspective that we oftentimes need, yeah. Now, I just sent the know when to say no link to the thread that we were all in. But now on how, now on the crazy thing is I don't know why it's acting like it didn't want to.
Okay, well, while she's pulling stuff up,
Okay.
February 23rd.
We might have to reschedule with all the new people.
Huh?
You said with all the other vendors and stuff that's
All the
trying to
vendor
come
event.
through, will our facility be big enough, or will we have to find another facility?
February 23rd, we are having our anniversary party. We gonna make it do what it do, just like we always
Which
do.
place do we choose?
Over.
We'll get there, we'll try.
Yeah, I don't know the actual. You see me? I'm like, I don't know the address. I just followed her. I don't know. But yes, February
Our
23rd.
original spot?
I guess.
Okay.
Oh, I don't know yet.
Okay.
Stop it. February 23rd, we are having our anniversary party. The theme of it is, as you can tell from the beginning of our intro song, Let's Go Crazy. We are also announcing a couple of very
Special.
special partnerships. Cause we about to go worldwide, y'all. We about to go worldwide. So Miss Kiana
Hello.
will be there. She will be in the house.
I will be there.
And she will be performing. Miss Mills will also be performing, and we also have a very special guest who is coming a very long way to be with us for this very momentous occasion. Our very own Sir Mindbender
Whoop, whoop.
will be with us, and he's going to perform. I don't know if he's going to sing, if he's going to rap. I don't know what he's going to do.
Okay, but, yeah, he gonna be there.
He's going to be there. So did you find it?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, now, I want to
More details on that, as the date gets closer.
Yes. Just follow, like and follow the this thing called Life Page, or you can friend us on Facebook at Key D. That's our show's homepage. KEE is the first name. DEE is the last name. So feel free to friend us there, and you'll have all the information there as well. But it says how to say no. You don't have to be nasty. You can be nasty like Miss Janet. Hey, oh, sorry. My age
No,
is
that
showing.
was Miss Chalet.
Mm-mm.
Some people
Nice
think I'm
and
nice.
nasty.
Some
Some
people
people
think I'm nasty. But if you really want to know, just ask me.
Can I say I'm nice?
Now who's aging themselves?
Say I'm nice.
No, but it's Miss Jackson. Miss Jackson, if you're nice. Remember when she said that in her song?
It's Miss Jackson if you're nasty.
Y'all remember Velvet Road?
Yes.
Look. You see I'm remixing the whole thing. Look. Is it coming out of
Velvet
her?
Road.
What y'all talking about?
Girl, you know Velvet
Girl,
Road?
you
We
better
gotta
go
get you
pull
on.
that old school Janet.
Janet?
Miss
Janet.
Chalet. Okay. Miss Chalet was when we were talking about nicey. But Janet, what song was that?
Nasty.
I told you.
Nat, yeah.
Nasty boy. Oh, sorry. Oh, you nasty boy.
Okay, I know
Yeah, we are aging ourselves quite a bit on this
I
show.
don't care.
But it says you don't have to be nasty. In fact, you can say it in a very nice way, starting with a positive statement like, I would love to see you, but. For example, it will be great to see you, but it is very hard on my body to have family stay over. It will be much easier on me if you could stay at a hotel nearby. There is a great hotel near us, well located with excellent service. You can come for dinners, and we will have a great time. They say this will allow you to spend time with your in-laws or whomever it may be, while preventing you from becoming ill and exhausted.
Yeah.
They said the family will understand if they are kind, open, and respectful. If they don't understand that, and they might not decide to visit, and that's okay too.
That is okay in most cases.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Miss Mills, because she's performing too. I said she was performing.
Oh, she's on
Hey.
Hey, girl.
It says the key is to get through with balance, health, and happiness. It is great to do the best you can for family and friends, but one very important person in the family is you. So in the future, pay attention to what your body tells you and learn to say no with a smile. And then it says 5 tips for knowing when and how to say no. Yeah, this one kind of, because it said it's on a site called Zenful Spirit, Zenful Spirit.com. And I need you to go ahead and finish loading on up for me. It's almost there. Okay, my southern roots came out. I said,
It sure did.
I said, fud,
We
fud.
got little New York,
Yeah.
yeah, little Mississippi.
I said, fud. I
Y'all
didn't
in
say fud.
Chi-Town, man.
But y'all understand, I'm a straight grammar nerd. Look, I'm a grammar nerd.
Oh,
So,
did you say Zenful? Oh, Zenful Spirit.
Z-E-N, yeah,
I was about to
zenfulspirit.com.
say, it says it's under construction and to come back later.
Yeah, zenfulspirit.com. And it's 5 tips for knowing when and how to say no. And it's deciding it wants to be difficult, but that's okay. But all in all, with everything, while it is deciding what it's going to do. Okay, now it decides. It says, I'm not going to go through a whole, it says, just tell them, it's like you're just too busy. Period.
See, but I'm not about to lie about it. I
But,
struggle with
but
that. I'm not gonna
see,
lie and say,
but see, it's got other things. But if you are, it says, and it should be obvious, but some people are more likely to rearrange their schedule and inconvenience themselves before they will say no to someone else. Been there, done that. Say you get invited to a party or event or something you really would like to attend, but you've already made other plans, or you may get a tempting new client or business opportunity, but your workload is already the size of Mount Everest. Or you may get a call from a friend asking for a ride right in the middle of your workday, and they just won't take no for an answer. What do you mean you're busy? You work from home.
I'll see. That one, we wouldn't have to talk.
Hey, yeah, let me, come on, it'll just take a second. That just rubbed me the wrong way. If saying yes means you have to lose sleep, working late, or sacrificing time with your kids or your partner, or shuffle things around in your already crazy schedule, don't do it.
Don't do it.
Right. It's just not worth it. Be
Don't
honest
do
with
it.
them, be honest with yourself, and just say no. You know, so it's like you feel guilty or obligated. It says, how many times have you said yes to something because you felt obligated to? Miss K hit that earlier. It says, or because you feel guilty saying no. If you're anything like me, that's based on the author, you're probably the answer is probably way too many. It says, wouldn't it be great if you could have all that time back? Well, I can't help you there, sorry, but you can make sure that you don't get caught in that particular trap again. It starts with being more mindful, more aware of how you feel and what motivates you. Now, see, for me, I love helping people, but I had to realize, and I don't mind helping people with their businesses, but I had to realize, for me, I get more of a thrill helping you to get it up and running than running your business. See, the thrill for me is making your baby come to life.
Reality.
Yeah.
Whereas for someone else, it may be sitting behind that desk 9 to 5. That's not me. I don't like being stationary like that.
Right,
Unless I'm confined because of my own stuff.
right.
Because I'm working on something myself. But it says, so like with you have multiple projects. You have multiple individuals that you work with. But they're going to have to, you have a whole family in the midst of all of that. So while I know studio time tends to go late in the midnight hours sometimes, if you're working for you, make it do what it do, baby. But if it's just because they just got to have that verse, tell them you do what you got to do. I'll come in and drop mine. That way you still have your family time. You still have your sanity, and you're not sitting up there becoming resentful because they lollygagging and bulljanking more than they working. Baby, been there, done that. Used to be with a major label down in when I lived in Atlanta. seeing all the behind the scenes, used to do drop background vocals, the whole nine. So I know a lot of wasted time goes on in the midst of creativity. So tell them, okay, you want me to do X, Y, Z, A, B, C? Okay, what's the concept? Once you get that concept down, then you can mull over it and the universe can tell you whatever it is you need to know. And so when you hear whatever that vibe is that they got going on, when they drop their stuff, you being who you are and being the professional and the artist that you are, you'll be able to roll on up in there and you'll be like, okay, let me go ahead and, you know, whether you go freestyle or whether you decide to jot it down, whichever you decide to do, then you'll be able to go up in there, handle your business, and go on about your business to the next whatever it is you got to do. That way you're not sitting up here allowing other people to waste your time.
Absolutely.
And if they have a problem with it, tell them D told you.
Y'all hear that? Do you hear that?
Demetria Brand Triplet on Facebook. Here I am. Here I am.
Look, everybody know Miss D don't.
Here I am. But this woman, because you have a whole family, and you don't want to miss key moments with your babies because you up there with people that's bulljanking around.
And I just recently, like, that's like head on the nose, because we just recently came back from winter break, and like, I was like, winter break went so fast because I was doing so much, and it's like that one last day, the last day, Sunday, like my daughter said, the most crushing thing to me. And she was like, I don't want you to go to the studio. And I was like, why not? She said, because you always gone. And I was like, that hurt me because it's like, I be trying to be the best mom. At the same time, it's like, I want to show y'all that you can go after your dreams.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, don't.
Well, make them work on your schedule. When the babies are at school, hey, we gonna work on this while my babies are at school. So when my babies come home, I'm able to give my babies the time that they need. Because when that time is gone, it can't be reclaimed. I don't care how much Auntie Maxine said, I'm reclaiming my time. That time cannot be reclaimed. So when it comes down to it, they gonna either get with the program or they gonna get the hell on down. And if they can't understand the fact that the children that cracked your ass are more important than dropping a verse at a specific point in time, then that's not who you need to be working with anyway, boo-boo.
And I can relate.
I'm sorry.
I struggle
I'm
with
like-
something similar with my daughter.
Look, you see me.
I always have some business things going on, or
Right.
I'm working and I'm doing things, and my daughter said something similar on multiple occasions. So I've been making it my point, no matter what's really going on, if I sit down with her and polish her fingernails, that goes so far. Like, for us, it's like nothing. But that 10 minutes to get her fingernails polished,
Yeah.
wow, amazing. Just start with small things.
Right,
Because they don't get this time back.
right. No.
These kids never get this time back.
Don't get that time back.
Exactly.
You don't get that time
And don't feel guilty for being a great mom.
at all.
Don't ever let a grown person guilt you into being a wonderful mother or wife.
And if they try it,
Holla at me.
holla at us.
All right.
No, I'm dead serious though.
Yeah, you know we are. Look,
dead
seriously,
serious.
from the moment we met you, you know we are dead serious.
You know, and I don't mean that to sound harsh. But on the flip side, I'm not apologizing for encouraging you to be the best wife, to be the best mother, because at the end of the day, if you are out there and you running and you run yourself down, are they going to be the ones that are taking care of you? Who's going to be the one bringing you your water? Who's going to be the one making sure you get your bag? And see, and I'm saying that because I told you about the arguments me and my husband had.
That same.
And when my body was shut down, he was the one that was cooking for me. He was the one making sure that my body was clean giving me my baths or my showers if my body wasn't able to sit. He was the one making sure, and she's seen it since I've been here. I was in the hospital. Those people come, you want to get cleaned up? Oh no, my husband already took care of that. He did not leave my bedside. They would come in, well, we can go ahead and change the sheets. He was like, okay, y'all can change the sheets, but as far as the rest of it, she already cleaned up. She already had a bath. So we as women have to get to the point where we prioritize. Not saying that we don't care about other people and their stuff, but we have to remember at the end of the day, and men too, and I'm saying because we're talking about the sisterhood segment, but even with men, those of you that are watching, we have to remember at the end of the day, the ones that's going to have us when we're not able to do for our damn selves are the ones that we need to ride hardest for. And those that we are working with, that we are doing these different projects with, or we just hanging with, or whatever the case may be, if they cannot understand the importance of being where you need to be and quote unquote having family first be your motto, then you may want to rethink the people you deal with. Because I did. I had to rethink some of the people that I interacted with. Because they didn't understand it was family first unless it was their family.
Mm. Well, we getting low on time, so I'm about to run through these last couple.
Run through them, boo-boo, run through them.
We all know at least one person who seems to live in a perpetual state of crisis. Every time you talk to them, they have some sort of emergency going on, whether it be physical, mental, emotional, whatever. They never call you or think of you unless they are in need of something from you, and they're really good at persuading you to give it to them.
That's who I was going off on a couple days ago.
There's another word for that kind of persuasion. It's called manipulation. And for some people, it's a way of life.
What's what they thought?
Okay? These people never learn to take responsibilities for themselves and solve their own problems because they always manage to convince someone else to do it for them. They take and take and take until you finally had enough, then they move on to the next sucker. Don't let it happen to you. If you find yourself faced with someone who is always using you, manipulating you, and taking you for granted, you need to say no, and you need to say it firmly. Sometimes the instant someone asks you to do something, you'll feel a strong reaction in the pit of your stomach. You were just talking about that.
That is like so true.
Either for good or evil.
It's how true that is.
Don't ignore that response because that is your intuition talking. Now, the thing about intuition is that it isn't always rational and it doesn't always make sense. In fact, it usually doesn't make sense. But that doesn't mean it's wrong. Many of the most successful people in history, from Steve Jobs and Bill Gates to Oprah Winfrey and Einstein, say that listening to their intuition was a key to their success. Mm-hmm. And it can save you a lot of trouble. When you get a bad feeling about something, pump the brakes. Mm-hmm. You don't have to understand why and you don't have to explain. Just say no. There's a deeper intelligence that lies behind our gut feelings, and you'll be much happier if you learn to listen to it. And the last point, you just aren't excited. The first 5 criteria won't apply to many of the decisions we make in life. We're given offers, invites, and choices almost every day in which we're not being used or manipulated, and we're not overwhelmingly busy. There are no red flags and no obvious reasons for saying no. See, this is where I get stuck. But the fact remains, if you say yes to them all, you'll still end up with very little time for yourself, and all of your projects and plans and big dreams won't amount to much of anything. Staying focused means saying no. And the ultimate rule for when you say no is this. It's either hell yes or no.
Learn to say hell yes to yourself.
Ooh, basically, if you aren't truly excited about it, don't do it. If it doesn't make you want to shout hell yes and leap for joy, then fix it. Whether it's an evening with friends, a business venture, or even a new relationship. Whatever. Leave me out of this. If your reaction is anything less than wow, yes, absolutely, then you should say no. Your time is too precious to spend on the mediocre, the manipulative, the excessively needy. Don't settle for anything less than awesome. It is either hell yes or no. When it comes to saying no, don't overthink it. Stand up straight. Be direct. Keep it short and sweet, because I told you no is a whole word explanation statement all by its doggone self.
Let's practice. 1, 2, 3.
Now!
And she's, I love her.
No.
No.
Like all things, saying no gets easier the more you do it. So just be sure to practice and watch as your anxiety and discomfort fade away to be replaced by a new sense of clarity and confidence.
And not everybody's gonna understand.
So,
No, I'm saying that because of the situation that happened with me once. Remember, I told you it was a few days ago. I put up a post, and someone actually from down home hit me asking me to, design a flyer for an event. No big deal. Wouldn't have taken me long. And I may have even thought about doing it until they put the line in our correspondence saying that the people down here want to charge too much to do it. Like, my time isn't valuable. Like, my time isn't worth anything. So I politely sent back to them and told them, and if you're watching, I said no, but I said a whole lot of stuff before I got to that point, because I had to erase the message 2 or 3 times to get to the no.
Wow.
hello, Clay.
And so when I say the peace, because see, I would have been pissed with myself,
You did that.
especially after they turned around and basically all but told me, even though we know you'll do great work, you should do it just on the strength. Now, my thing is, if you are truly my friend, you should want to support me on the strength.
I should be the one to tell you, nah, it's cool, I got you.
Right.
That's crazy.
So when I talk about starting to say, remember, when you say no to someone else, you're saying yes to yourself. You're saying yes to your family. You're saying yes to your health.
Like I was about to say, because on top of all of that, you was sick as a damn dog trying to do this.
Here came out
Yeah,
again.
see, that's the part you don't talk about. You was sick as a damn dog trying to do it.
Mm-hmm. A lot of times.
I love when they be like this too.
Like,
Yeah, I'm
I
looking like, here you go. Tearing each other down. Like, who gonna jump nobody?
Y'all blessed.
Just, I don't know. Cracking up.
But it's and so when we talk about having an accountability partner,
Yes.
that's the truth. And see, and I want to say something to Ms. Roz. I know you're here from a different state like I am. It's hard and it's difficult finding that connection to people, those that you connect to on, not just on a professional level, because you can connect there all day, every day with people, but on a more spiritual and personal level. Finding people that you're on common ground with. And I'm going to tell you, like I told one of my husband's cousins, if it doesn't feel right, they're not the right people for you to deal with. And I know you know this, but if you ever just want, like, we talk about just girls' night or whatever, girl time or whatever, just hit us. And be like, look, even if we don't have to plan anything, look, what y'all doing now? Not now, what you doing now? Look, okay, what y'all doing after we all get off work? Let's just go get some loaded fries from, what's the place that you were telling me? that's not what they were called, though. What do they call it? Crack fries.
Down there,
That's
bro.
not
And
that.
broad
Okay.
ripple. Well, so you probably you'd have to have them put the turkey on there instead of the pork. Cause they do have the turkey as well.
Oh,
So just make sure, if you ask for it, make sure they definitely put the turkey bacon on there for you. But they're the crack fries. Even if we just, look, let's go to Top Cat and we just gonna get a couple orders of crack fries.
Okay.
And just,
I think all of us, you're east side too, right?
Mhm.
Well, look.
or we can go to Gary's and eat some turkey ribs or something. Ooh,
I miss those turkey
We all
ribs.
mowing.
I
I can't wait from work. I have dinner.
Right, we're all sitting there.
Foodies anyway.
Yes.
So
Yes.
Yeah, I appreciate that. It is difficult. It is difficult to find people that are transparent and honest and yeah. Don't get me started.
genuine, just about.
Genuine.
We understand. Trust and
somebody
believe.
said something.
That's how we ended up being, just here
Yeah.
and doing what we do. There are too many people that are just fake and phony. And my thing is, I've had people who have met me and they're just like, you know what, you the same person, you look just like you do online, and you the same person that speaks in your lives. And I'm just like, you know what, I'm not one of those people. You're not going to meet my representative. I ain't got time.
2
I don't know how to
times.
be nobody but me.
Right.
Yeah,
I ain't got time. I just don't. Yeah, I'm like, look, this is who because then I have to remember.
Yeah, you gotta keep up with the lies when you start telling lies.
When you got to keep up with the facade. I ain't got time.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't got
Got
time.
enough on the brain.
Man, and my brain always going.
Right.
So on this note,
Oh, that can bleed 2 hours.
yes.
yes.
On this note, I'm going to let it be known that in 2019 we are going to be doing our sisterhood segments. So these lovely ladies will be back with us.
Yes.
I was nervous at first.
See, and we
I
told
told
you
her
that.
she-
I was like 2 hours. They want me to come talk on this radio show for 2 hours. Like,
Yes.
And then they fly by.
It did.
Yeah.
It did.
So
And y'all don't get the good, cause we about to get together for a few minutes and have the after party or after show amongst ourselves.
yes. So all the stuff we not saying on the air, we can go on.
Right, so we can talk about y'all.
Yeah.
I'm just playing. Now I'm playing for real.
So I just want to thank everybody for tuning in. I apologize for my lateness, as per usual. This thing called life, and I had 2 nails in my tire, so I had to get that in. For whatever reason, it took 2 hours to get the tire fixed. So my apologies for my tardiness.
I'm happy you got
I
it.
am happy I got it fixed because I went to step on the brakes and I have all-wheel drive, and 3 of the tires caught. But that other tire, it had gotten so low it didn't catch. And that's when I was just like, okay, I know I gotta go to the show, but we about to turn off right here and go get this tire looked at.
Yeah, you first.
So, again, I just want to thank everyone for tuning in and for joining us. Thank you for those who have commented on our phones, who have commented on Facebook and following us with the YouTube app. Make sure that you're also those who are tuning in. Feel free at any point in time to contact us. This thing called Life. Life with Key and D. Life with Key and D Life is on every social media platform. So please feel free to
KEEAND
DEE
Life.
E-N-D.
Key and D Life.
Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, and we have our this thing called Life show page, and then we have the page that we do most of our interactions, because we try to keep our personal pages for, our families and close friends. So, but go to that Key, that's the first name, and D is the last name on the account. So feel free to send us a friend request. We will accept it. And if we find out that you inboxing our other people, we're going to have some real big issues. So let me just go ahead and put that disclaimer out there. Don't get on our feed, on our page, trying to hunt and find your next victim. I said it. Now,
Also in 2019, we are going to launch an additional show, and that is our wind down, and that is this thing called Life After Dark.
Woo! think it is?
That's
Yes,
a grown folks
baby, that's the
segment,
grown folk, that's the
Oh,
grown
yes.
folks.
I need to be more honey every show. Yes.
Okay,
Oh.
so again, thank you all for joining us. We look forward to talking to you again next week, and take care, have a blessed week, and we will come and talk to you again later on this thing called
Life.
Good night, y'all.
Thank you all for
Bless
being with us. We'll have to look. I'm gonna see if I can sweet talk Steve into seeing if we can ease maybe a segment or two of the wind down in on the regular show. You know, we have to get some of that, cause see, some of it's gonna be pretty risque.
Yes.
So we want to make sure that everybody has a clear understanding of. Now sometimes it might get a little raunchy, but we're gonna try to.
When it gets raunchy, that'll be on the other page.
Yeah, but
It might get, like I said, we might get a little risque on our regular page, but when it's gonna get raunchy, then we have to go to the other page.
yeah, don't forget we still got the live feed going right now. So ladies,
Oh.
if there's something you want to say, make sure you don't say it right now. Yeah, make sure you don't say it right now. It's my anniversary.
Oh,
Did I say that already?
Yes, say it again. That's something to be proud about.
It's my anniversary.
oh, look, wait a minute, look, you can get in
Oh,
trouble.
we're not on the wind down. But
No.
anyway, we appreciate you all.
Look, you got
Peace and
this all in
blessings
trouble.
to each of you. And we hope each of you
Yeah.
have an awesome, awesome week. And we thank you for joining us once again on this thing called life. Take care.